Hey everybody, Ms. Brandy back again. Just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about Z codes. You will remember it was in your reading from your lab yesterday in chapter 3, and it's a really important chapter to cover. We go over it in detail later on in the program, but it's something that you need to know about from jump. Um, because it's important enough that ICD 10 gives it an entire chapter to itself. Chapter 21, which you can find on page 1616 in your manual. That's the beginning of chapter 21 in your Z codes. And what these codes are for, guys, the Z codes allow you to report things that are not necessarily diseases or injuries. Things like exposure or contact of certain diseases and infections, and also status codes, whether someone has an allergy or a prosthetic or is awaiting organ transplant, or there's a whole number of things um, that your Z codes are going to cover. And this is all stuff that's going to be pertinent to the care. You use these codes to indicate something, you know, that's going to be pertinent to the care that's being provided on this data service, right? So if, like in the example in the book, y'all, I can't speak enough about the examples in the book. I hope y'all are going through those and really reading them and paying attention because they're going to help. But the example they use in the book is someone with a history of breast cancer. And of course, if they're being seen by the doctor and they find a lump or a lesion or something like that, it is very important for us to identify that this person has a history of cancer because they're more likely to have it again, right? So that is very pertinent to the care. Okay. Um, so that's what Z codes are for. That's what their purpose is to identify those types of situations, things that we need to know, um, that are not necessarily something that is a direct disease or injury. Maybe it might be something that they had a disease they had in the past that could affect the care they're given today. Those are things you want to keep in mind. Okay. Your Z codes can be a primary code or a supplemental code. In some cases, they have to be a primary code. And one of the things when you look in the chapter, notice that there are a bunch of blue dots next to a whole lot of the Z codes. That blue dot indicates that you cannot use that code as a primary code. So that's a little hint there. And you can find that legend down at the bottom of your ICD-10 page on every page. Okay. Um, but yeah, so there's a lot of them that you don't use as primary, and there's some that you absolutely have to use as primary, or your claim is just going to get automatically kicked back. So it's very important to read your guidelines and then read under that code to verify you're using the correct one and that you can use the code that you're wanting to use. Okay. And I think also one last thing. Z codes can be used in any healthcare setting, outpatient, inpatient, any healthcare setting. They are acceptable to use. Okay. One more thing I want you guys to do. Our weekly meeting is tomorrow at 3:30. It's Thursday, 3:30, on Zoom. I've got the link posted, but something I'd like y'all to do, because we're going to talk a little more in depth about Z codes in the meeting. I want you to go to your alphabetic index in your ICD-10 CM manual and look up the word encounter. And then after you do that, look up the word examination and just go through those pages, go through that list and see how many Z codes there are there. Almost all of them, I'll tell you now, almost all of them. But go ahead and look and get in. It'll get you used to thinking about Z codes and what's there. So go ahead and take a look at that. And then in tomorrow's Zoom, we're going to have a little fun with Z codes and different things. Okay. All right. So you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you for taking your time as always. And I will talk to y'all later. Bye.